Cryptocurrency is an innovative concept of virtual digital currency that has attracted substantial interest in last years from the risk takers, profit seekers, general public, and even academic practitioners. According to the latest report, the popularity of cryptocurrency in a country can be evaluated from the fact that India already has the highest number of crypto owners in the world at 10.7 crores. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Analytics Insight podcast, where we talk about the ever evolving technology space. And I'm your host, Priya Dialani. Now, crypto has turned out to be a new avenue of investment in India similar to gold. The attributes of cryptocurrency framework like decentralized network, reduced dependency on cash, lack of stable pricing factors it do not let it unlock its true potential. And today we are going to talk about cryptocurrency and its overall impact on the Indian economy. So let's welcome Vikram Subburaj, Chief Executive Officer of the Giottus crypto platform, which is known as India's leading crypto assets trading portal. Hi Vikram, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Priya. I'm really excited to be part of this podcast as well. Let's start it, yeah?
Sure. It's a pleasure to have you with us on our podcast. So I think let's kickstart by knowing more about Giottus, what exactly Giottus is, its specialization, and if you can tell anything that's more about the platform to our listeners.
So, Giottus is a crypto platform where customers can buy and sell cryptocurrencies. And not just that, they can also further invest the cryptocurrencies that they've bought in multiple other products like staking, fixed rewards. And apart from that, to also help them with making their choices, we have products like baskets, which is a bundle of products which would help them and invest in a set of cryptocurrencies. And we also have features like SIP that people usually use in other markets as well. So it is a holistic platform for users from India who want to enter into the crypto ecosystem, and after entering in to look into even further investments, they can look into Giottus as the platform, a single platform that they need to do anything in the crypto space.
Great. Sounds pretty interesting, and thank you for letting us know about Giottus and giving a short and a crisp introduction to the platform. Now, I think over in the recent past, crypto has been a subject of a discussion among the general public as well. And in a world of technological advancements, I think cryptocurrency is becoming more comfortable for investors who value privacy and the creation of money. While we'll be discussing more about the platform and about the company and how the cryptocurrency is evolving, I would also like to know more about yourself, your journey till date, your role and contribution towards the company.
So before Giottus, I was part of Amazon, where I was handling categories for them in their European markets, and then I was also handling categories for them as a manager in the Indian markets as well. So before that, say more about myself. Even I will also bring in a few details about my other co-founder Arjun. During the same period, Arjun was with a solar startup called Amplus Solar, and before that, he was with Vodafone. Now, me and Arjun, we both are college time buddies. We both are from IIM Calcutta, adjacent roomies who keep discussing about a lot of things. And even after college, we had this passion with each other that we should do something in the tech zone. So we discuss a lot, we read a lot, be it in AR VR space, quantum space, and during this journey of general reading and researching is when we came across crypto, right? Now, what started as a fun read in due course of time made it as a research subject for both of us, wherein I would research about a coin, go talk to him. He would research about a coin, and he'll come talk to me. At some point of time, without us knowing even, we were somehow pulled into this rabbit hole of knowing more about the space and different techs and innovations in this space. Now, as obviously, if you're learning a lot about a particular space like crypto, where there is also a lot of good price movements happening, generally jump into the trading of cryptos as well. So that's how we entered into trading of cryptos, wherein we used to read some project, research ourselves, analyze ourselves, and then we try to see if we can invest in them as well. Now, at some point of time, we realized that we both have been spending more time in trading and understanding cryptos than our actual work, right? That's when we realized that it's ideal that we follow our passion and jump into doing something in the crypto space. So that's how it all started, Priya, wherein general MBA grads from IMC who had their good corporate lives, but who were looking out, searching for newer things, out of general passion for reading. But we found something that we thought that we could take it up, as a career for the rest of our lives. Right, that is when we started Giottus in 2017. We both quit our jobs. We found a small team, majorly made up of people that we have known from the past 10 years. We picked and chose and selected and converted these guys to get into Giottus, and then we started building in 2017 and we went live in 2018, Priya. So before all this, before I am Calcutta, I did my engineering from BITS Pilani, Dubai campus, and I worked there in Dubai for a good 2.5 years. Yeah, post then the move to India, and then Amazon, and then Geotus. Yeah, that's in just about me.
Great. I think your journey as well as a partner's journey seems pretty fascinating and inspiring as well. And it's glad and we're glad to see two young entrepreneurs trying to create a difference or trying to make crypto more comfortable among users in India. And since I'm talking about India, I think crypto is now considered as a digital gold in India. But stakes are always high in crypto investment if you talk about it. For example, the price of one Bitcoin was only $123 in October 2013. Then in Jan 2021, it crossed a whooping 34,000 US dollars. And now, if you consider the price, it has gone even beyond that whooping number. So, and similarly, gold is also considered a valuable asset in India. Now, currently, the price of a 10 gram of 24 karat gold has crossed even has gone beyond rupees 50,000 as well. Now, person might have doubled the investment by investing in gold, while Bitcoin has given 340 times more return over the years. And that's the reason why it's called as a digital gold. It's for a particular reason. So I want to know, how do you think that crypto plays an important role in promoting financial inclusion in a country like India?
Yeah. So, Priya, to first start with, right now, when we see how crypto's prices have also drastically moved up, right? It is
Mm-hmm.
interesting that we are finding these price movements as very drastic because we are at that phase where we were able to see the launch of the product and what happens post launch of a critical product like this, how adoption happens and how price improvement happens. Now, why I state this, right now, if you go talk to your grandparents or even your parents, right, they would say that, during my time when I started earning first, the price of a gram of gold was only 40 rupees. Right now, look at gold. It is 4,000, 6,000 rupees. Look at how fast things have grown. Right, but imagine gold as a product has been there for many, many years. That we will not be able to go on track down. What was the initial exchange price of gold that happened. Now, from that perspective, right, when we see suddenly, hey, now Bitcoin within a matter of 10 to 13 years from almost something which was selling in cents, it is now something at $66,000, $67,000. We suddenly feel that it's a huge growth and price of one Bitcoin has become very, very costly now. But as a matter of fact, when you look at a lot of analysts, what they quote even, for example, this bull run, what they're quoting is it could touch somewhere around $230,000 and then settle down somewhere at 150 to $180,000. Now, if we see at this time frame, suddenly what we will then at the end of the bull market, when it touches its all-time high at $230, if at all, as the analysts say, then you would suddenly feel that, hey, that $60,000 was cheap, man. I should have maybe entered at that price point. So that ideally what happens when a new product, which has got a lot of potential that gets introduced into the market, which is also investable. Now, from the point of view of financial inclusion of people in India, or everyone else in the world as well. Now, if you see, one of the core critical components of Bitcoin is the decentralized network that is there at its core. And to enter into Bitcoin, there is no particular criteria, right? The network does not pick and choose people that only, hey, you can come in, you cannot come in, or there is no particular, apart from the tech barrier that it has, there's no other barrier that it holds for someone to enter into this ecosystem. Unlike other networks where there are a lot of other barriers that you have to get into, Now, for example, though banking and everything has been here for centuries, we are still seeing a lot of people who are not banked yet, right? Now, why is it so? What is the barrier? If you get into details of that, you would actually get into this space wherein, though it is open to all, still there are a lot of barriers to entry for a common person, right? That is something like a decentralized crypto can take care of. And when I also look into a global setup where currency transactions or asset transactions have to take place, now what is happening? USD has become the currency which is being traded or used as a common traded currency across the world. Now, as you're noticing, with sanctions and everything coming into place, a lot of these countries do also get a feeling that maybe USD should not be the one that is the common currency that should be traded. Then what could be that common currency or what could be that common tradable asset that need not have or give control to a particular country, right? That becomes a bigger question that everyone is trying to understand. And cryptocurrency, especially something like a Bitcoin, could be that asset that could be used as an international asset that anyone can use to trade with. Ideally, that is why we keep saying that Bitcoin is an asset for the world, right? It's an asset for the world trade or world transactions, where it doesn't have a particular country, location, gender, or creed that that it subscribes to, right? So that is one core feature that it holds that can be easily used in markets like remittance, interbank transfers, and everything. Still, it is controlled by few networks like Swift and MasterCard and Visa, as we know it, who are private players, right? Now, all these networks do bring in their rules, guidelines, and everything that even countries have to adhere at some point of time. Now, this can easily be overcome when there is a network that is decentralized where we as people have the control to say, hey, I want this or I don't want this, right? So that ideally is a much more powerful tool, much more tool that is focused towards the end user who are us, right? So that is ideally why we think that this will be the future, and this has got a lot of scope for getting into adoption.
Yes, that was very well explained, Vikram, and even I agree with it as to how crypto payments and crypto-related solutions are transforming the financial landscape of India. But alongside, like we mentioned about gold and crypto, I think one of the another assets that India has is like a strong base of IT professionals. So the collaboration of IT and the financial sector can bring endless possibilities in terms of business opportunities and overseas cash influx. And like you mentioned about the government regulations and some of the statutory compliance. So I think when governments across the world are bringing strong regulatory measures and creating laws for an official digital currency, so it will attract huge foreign investments. So this all can provide a huge boost to the fintech sector and propel the Indian economy forward. Now, do you think that crypto payment solutions can impact the financial landscape? I think we already know the answer. It's a complete yes. But how do they impact? We would want to know more about it.
Yeah, so let's get into more core on thinking the existing financial networks, Priya. For this, we will also try to understand globally existing financial networks where someone like MasterCard, Visa, or your Swift network, these are the major players who enable the payments or remittance transactions between two entities or countries or banks even, right? Now, these entities almost control 90-95 percentage of transactions that happen globally. And let us all be very clear that these are all private entities, these are all not government owned entities. Now, imagine the whole world's payment network is handled by private entities, which have, though they are regulated, though the guidelines of each and every country they'll have to adhere to. Let us come to the basic fact that, again, these are all private entities, right? They always try to see what is the profit maximization that they can do. And ideally, that's what they've been doing. See, for examples, in very underdeveloped countries and all, still the cost of a transaction is very high. Irrespective of the amount that you're going to send, whatever you're going to pay to these transaction partners or the payment partners, it's at a very high zone. Even payment transaction or credit card transaction that we do, there is a charge of 2 to 5 percentage that is incurred, though we are not seeing directly nowadays because it's inbuilt into our cost. Now, why should every transaction that goes around the world to should pay 2 to 5 percentage to private entities, right? For a job that is as simple as transferring message between one person to another. When you're transferring funds using your bank accounts, you're not seeing physical transfer that is happening from here and there, right? Mostly it is a digital message that is being sent, which gets tallied, and if there is any difference that one bank owes to the other or one party owes to the other, that's when the settlement of that happens. Now, in most of the cases, this is just a normal messaging that is as simple as an email messaging that happens between these two parties. So, for a simple messaging, why is such a big cost and price that is being paid, right? Now, that is where there is a heavy need for these networks to be out of the private companies and they have to be decentralized, right? The moment such a powerful thing of payment transaction network is either with one private party or few private parties or with one country, let's consider there's one country which launches a particular network which is amazing and every other country is using the network to transfer. Suddenly that country will get a lot of power, right? We will all be happy if that country is India, but think globally, right? No one would want to be one country to have that kind of a power that they can handle the whole payment transaction network of the world. So that's when there is a big need of a network that does not have the control of a particular organization, person, country, or anyone to be there. So when such a system needs to come in, it needs to come in with a lot of other theories and principles, and it should also come in with things like it should not have certain problems, something like double spending problem, what is being handled in the crypto ecosystem. So most of this requirement and needs is actually fit well in the crypto ecosystem, especially in coin like Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Now, though I talk about a lot about Bitcoin, something like Ethereum, wherein it is not just the transfer, right? You can write a lot of good smart contracts where you make the transfer even intelligent, right? You can do things of like conditions and everything can be put on chain, in the sense no single person or single organization has to do all that conditions, check it, and then say that okay, now you can transfer the money. All that conditions and everything can be put on the chain itself, on the network on itself, for it to do the work. So from that perspective, what it gives is a lot of freedom from a lot of these private players or one particular country or one particular entity from pushing their objective to everyone else in the world. So it is this freedom of transaction in a payment network, that is the critical offering that cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum offer. And I suppose that is the biggest innovation and the gift or offering that it gives to the world.
True, I very well agree with you, Vikram. And as the world is evolving, we are seeing the transformation and evolution of digital assets as well. And hence, many companies are also adopting blockchain and digital assets to provide a wholesome experience to their customers as well. But when we're talking about all of these emerging technologies, not many people are actually aware of cryptocurrency or the new age technology. They still lack as to what benefits cryptocurrency offers or what exactly is the underlying technology and should we actually trust and invest in cryptocurrency. So I think in order to reach like a widespread and a mass scale adoption, it's very necessary to spread financial literacy for crypto assets and blockchain education to understand how this technology works or the overall crypto space works. And hence, it's very important to make education as a very innovative and an upcoming segment and make education about cryptocurrency more accessible. Can you highlight the significance of crypto education and what are some of the initiatives that Vikram you are taking at Giottus to enhance the inclusivity in crypto trading?
Yeah. So from let me go a bit deeper here, Priya. It is the core objective is to enable adoption into the ecosystem, right? That is the core objective. Now, if I see that as the core objective, then there are three things that have to be done, right? The first thing, now let us consider something like, for example, in UPI, right? Now, a network like UPI, if I ask anyone, can you explain to me how an UPI works? How, what would they say? They would say that, hey, I just take my app, I scan the QR code or put the UPI ID, and I can make the transfer from my bank account to the merchant's bank account, right? So it's as simple as that. That's how you'll explain, right? You will not explain that, UPA stack is this. There is the core technology is built in, for example, in Java. On top of this, you build in all this. You don't go about explaining the tech behind what is there in UPA, right? Why we don't do that is we have already given use cases of UPA that people can use now. So they don't have to know about what is the tech behind building an UPI. Now, the problem here in the crypto space is the lot of cryptocurrencies, what we are talking about, the use case has not gone to the retail customer yet, or they are all in their starting phases, that they have not built up either the UI or the product to handle the retail customer. So the first job is for the people in the ecosystem to make sure that we build a lot of good use cases that can be used by the retail directly and also used easily with a good UI and UX experience. Now, now the usual thing that we keep saying is, now whenever someone wants to get into the crypto ecosystem, we say that they have to create a wallet, and then they have to create a private, public private key, and then private key they'll have to go find ways to how save it well. Now, if you lose the private key, then you cannot retrieve the wallets. Now, imagine all the burden that we are throwing on a retail customer for just entering into this ecosystem. So now there is definitely a lot of discussion that is happening on, how to do social retrieval of, your private key, what is the tech that we have to bring in. So all this work has to deeply happen to ensure that entering into a crypto ecosystem does not mean that you'll have to be technically so advanced, right? You can be a normal person who knows how to use a mobile, that's it. And you can enter into this ecosystem. So to that level, the ecosystem first has to work and provide use cases for them to use or adopt into the crypto ecosystem. So that is the first major thing I would highlight. The next thing that I would highlight is people like us who are part of the ecosystem. We definitely have a large role to play in terms of educating the customers. Now, whatever is said and done, though it is a high-tech field, we definitely are seeing a lot of customers who want to enter into this ecosystem, invest in this ecosystem, research in this ecosystem, understand, and then further do analysis. So there is a lot of need from this customer that they want from this ecosystem, and it is our responsibility to make sure that we feed customer with all these requirements. So what we do, right, from Giottus perspective, we have split this into two zones. Zone one is how do we help customers in analyzing crypto, right? So what do? We conduct every week seminars to customers on how to analyze cryptocurrency. So every Saturday we do conduct in different languages. At one Saturday it used to be in English, it will be in Hindi, Tamil, Telugu. So we do in multiple languages every week to ensure that people know it is not that, so now one of the craziest things that happens in this space is people come in and say that, hey, Bitcoin now is at, 50 lakh, 60 lakh rupees. But another, for example, a meme coin, it is only at 1 rupee. So it is better to buy 1 rupee than buying something at that price. So that is not the way to look into it, right? You will see what is the percentage increase something can happen, what is the potential that it can increase, and not just what is in a per unit basis cheaper, right? So a lot of things like this, and along with how to analyze a token, right? How do you see, what is the supply of the token, what was the prices before, how it has grown, and all this. So we bring all these features into a webinar format, and we try to educate our customers. Apart from this, we also ensure that we do a lot of educational videos in the format through our social media channels, be it Twitter, Facebook, Telegram, and all these channels. We try to do a lot of educational videos. For example, what is the difference between Solana and Ethereum? What are layer twos? What is ZK? So we try to create a lot of content which is focused towards a general user who doesn't know much about crypto. Now, apart from this, what we also do is, it is not just about educating customers, it is also about educating government officials and people who are in the system who should ensure that the thing should work here properly. So what we do is we also train a lot of police officials. So Geotus per se, we have along with I4C, which is a government body for cybercrime, we have done trainings to more than 18 plus state polices in India. We give trainings on basic trainings about crypto and how to investigate in crypto, what are do's and don'ts that are in crypto, and what are the usual scams that happen in crypto. So we as an organization have taken it up as a responsibility to make sure it is not just the customers who have to be educated, but it's the whole ecosystem which comprises of government and even someone like police officials who play a critical role to play here. So that is the second part where we focus on ensuring that the knowledge is disseminated to everyone in the ecosystem. And the third major part to ensure that the adoption happens, there should be a good regulation in this space. Why there is a regulation that is important? With regulations, people will become more confident. And with regulations that are coming in, what will happen is it will become tough for the bad actors to be in that ecosystem and thrive in that ecosystem. Now, even something as simple as a customer protection law, right? For people who have faced some issues from a scammer or anyone, if there is a clearly defined customer protection laws, people will be even more confident and even more encouraging to enter into this ecosystem. So, and with also regulations kicking in, entities like us, we will have much more clarity on, doing much more knowledge driven sessions or seminars or webinars or, all the advertising that we can do. We will have much more clarity of what we can do or cannot do, and we can reach out to the customer. So the third critical thing is regulations that an ecosystem needs so that adoption happens, and adoption happens without fear.
Great. So glad to hear about your initiatives that you guys have been taking at Geotis to create more awareness and increase the financial literacy around cryptocurrency. And I'm glad to see that it's majorly focused on the general user perspective and helping them gain more knowledge around crypto and crypto payments. And in the end, you also mentioned about having a strong regulatory setup in place to eliminate bad actors. So that kind of brings me to my next question. So, in the year 2021, I think the crypto witnessed an alarming surge in cryptocurrency scams, with fraudsters ranking in an unprecedented $14 billion worldwide. Now, this staggering figure represents a substantial 79% increase from the previous year, that's 2020, and it's largely attributed to the exponential growth of decentralized finance. So, you mentioned that regulations are necessary to eliminate bad actions, but are there any other steps that GTS takes to ensure the safety and security of crypto trading?
Yeah. So, see, one of the core things here currently in this space, what happens is there is, see, as a matter of fact, if you notice the scams or the issues that are happening in crypto space are not those scams which can happen only in the crypto space. These are those scams that happen in the other ecosystem as well, be it a credit card ecosystem, be it an equity market, whether investment scams, or be it in any payment industry, whether scams of chargebacks and everything that come in. These are the similar scams that are happening in the crypto space as well. Now, for example, one of the biggest and largest issues that is happening in the recent times are where people are trying to do a peer-to-peer trade in any of the international exchanges, and a lot of these scammers find these international exchanges as a really good place to dump their scammed INR funds and get cryptocurrencies from users, right? So in this case, what happens? The scamsters put a very lucrative post saying that, hey, if for example the USDT is selling at 90 rupees per USDT, they will put a post saying that I'm willing to buy at 100 rupees. So a gullible customer, what he will think, hey, is there's a good 10 to 12 percentage of profit that we can make here, and then he tries to take his cryptocurrencies to these international exchanges, transact with the scammers in P2P, and the INR scam funds from the scammer's account flows to this guy's account. And when the general cybercrime inquiry happens, what happens is this customer who doesn't know much about what has happened, his account also get into a frozen zone, and he runs post to pillar in trying to clear his name. Now, What happens here is, or what is lacking here is general awareness of what is happening in the market. Now, what we do is whenever we notice such a widespread issue that is happening, we first make sure that we make a lot of noise among our customers that something like this is going on and they should stay away from doing all this. The next thing, we also make sure that the general ecosystem apart from our customers, we try to reach out to them through our social media channels, through seminars that we conduct, that what are all the scams that they should avoid. We also make a lot of awareness videos on what is the do's and don'ts in this crypto ecosystem. There are certain don'ts in this crypto ecosystem that people should stay away. Something as simple as there is no need for an MLM scheme to be running here in the crypto ecosystem. Though MLM doesn't not have an illegal status in India, but MLM and crypto at the current state, when the regulations are not clearly formed, mostly ends up in someone doing an investment scam and swindling the money away from customers. Now, anyone who interacts in Telegram, they all have to know that none of the exchanges or no entity is going to give you some communication like, hey, for your issue to get resolved, transfer funds to this particular address and we'll resolve your issue. None of the communication an entity does will be on Telegram, but it will be on their official website or their app. Most of the people, they get tricked in Telegram, because at Telegram you can just take anyone's name, put anyone's DP, and then say that, hey, I am the founder of Giottus, I will solve your problem, and they reach out to the customers and then they try to cheat the customer. Now people have to be aware of the fact that all communication that an entity does will happen only in their platform, not in any of the social media channels. We don't sit and solve or support issues there. So this is one communication day in and day out. We try to give it to a lot of our customers. Now this again, like if you see this example, this Telegram kind of a scam, whatever I'm saying, it is not so crypto industry specific scam. The scam is prevalent in all other industries as well, be it credit card scam or any other scam that happens as well. Now this also has crypto industry in it. This also happens in crypto industry in it. So what we are trying to do is do our level best to ensure that whoever is our customer first, they will get alarm. Part two is whoever is not our customers, we try to reach out to all other channels, communications channels that we have. Now, globally, a lot of this responsibility also comes in through regulations. That is why consumer protection is very, very important. When people around the world are talking a lot about regulating crypto only in terms of identifying where the fund is being transferred to and everything, but at much more core, the first thing we'll have to build is the consumer protection laws. When something like this happens, how we can file a case, on what section, on what law, all that clarity should come in, so that if any customer faces an issue, he has a clear playbook of what he should do next legally.
Yes, that makes very much sense. I think you highlighted a very important point that consumer protection is very important, and we need some strong regulation and rules around it. And I think when crypto platforms like Giottus and other companies, I think when they're investing in robust security measures, it not only protects users' assets, but it also inspires or instills trust and confidence that users can have within the platform, and they can have a peace of mind that they are relying on someone more trustworthy and that their assets are safe and protected. So one last question for you, Vikram, would be how do you think is the future of crypto world, and how would you align your company's growth with that?
Yeah, so now if you notice, one of the core things or issues that people have been talking about for the past 4 to 5 years has been the network bandwidth that cryptocurrencies have, right? Can they process these many transactions per second? For example, someone like Visa process 24,000 transactions per second. If we are going to be a challenger, can we do that, right? So on to like comparison, what Bitcoin does is in 10 minutes some 2,000 transactions that it can do, right? So per second basis, it's still very low. Ethereum, it does 12 transactions per second. But there are other techs, someone like Solana, they can do 65,000 transactions per second, which is almost close to 2.5 times of what even Visa can do. But having said that, the ecosystem still needs to develop a lot to prove that they're stable and they can handle all this. So, one of the biggest things or changes that we will see going forward is the improvement in the transaction per second or the bandwidth of all these networks that we will see. How will it be done? Something like an Ethereum chain, we have a lot of these layer two chains, be it Optimism, Arbitrum, Polygon, and all these chains who are working towards improving the bandwidth of these chains so that when a real use case that has to be transferred to the decentralized ecosystem, Ethereum can handle it, right? Now it is at a state that when there is a huge traffic, it gets clogged. The network fees goes absurdly high. When we are talking about a scenario where cryptos should help people transact in a much cheaper way, easier way, and decentralized way, currently it is not happening because of a lot of tech bandwidth issues. A lot of bandwidth issues that driven by the tech of these cryptos. Now, a lot of that is going to get resolved, or a lot of that people are working on with different technologies. Now, each of the projects that I've spoken about in layer two, you can consider even ZK and all of the techs that people are working on. Each one is working on a very different tech to solve this issue. So, in the next year or two, what we are going to see is a lot of these tech getting into reality and making sure that they will create a ecosystem where the smart contract enable and it can handle a lot of transactions so that it can easily be used for any use case that is currently not there in the crypto ecosystem or the decentralized ecosystem. So that is going to be critical for the next year or two, and how we are aligning ourselves, since Geotus currently is a platform where customers can buy and sell cryptos or they can invest in cryptocurrencies through Geotus. We are ensuring all these good projects that the people are working on, we should make it available for customers to trade. As a matter of fact, Geotus currently is the largest exchange in terms of number of coins you can trade with INR. We support somewhere around 304 coins that people can buy and sell in INR pairs. So that is how we are enabling our customers to make sure that we give them an entry for a lot of these coins which are trying to solve the existing problems. And we are trying to make sure that they can adopt into all this through Geotes, and also without friction in terms of ease of depositing and withdrawing, or ease of doing the crypto deposit and withdraw, and also adhering the compliance and the rules and regulations of India, right? So that is our focus being, right? Let the cryptos work on the tech, and we will ensure that the good techs are available in Geotes to trade.
Right, and I think along with being able to handle increasing volumes of crypto payments processing, I think it also demands environmentally friendly options in terms of addressing the pressing issue of sustainability in crypto mining as well. And I think to conclude, not just the government of India, but I think all governments are required to pull up their socks in the world of cryptocurrency, as it has a huge potential to bring technological revolution. And the tax on cryptocurrency gains also adds up to a huge sum of direct taxes which goes to the IT department, which can overall will be a great push the growth of the economy as well. Of course, there's a need to make it more transparent, safer, and reliable, and citizens should be more aware of the overall functioning of the cryptocurrency to invest more on it. And this is very important, especially in India, which stands second in terms of population. And I think with Geotis taking such initiatives, and if we have more such initiatives, so we would be able to solve this problem as well in terms of financial literacy and creating more awareness around the crypto use. So I think cryptocurrency holds a bright future, which also becomes more encouraging in terms of increasing e-investments or e-payments as well. Well, thank you so much, Vikram. It was a pleasure having you with us. We explored some new dimensions around cryptocurrency and how we can have a more safer and secure crypto trading.
So it has been a pleasure as well for me. I really enjoyed discussing a lot of these different topics about cryptos with you.
Great. Thank you so much, Vikram. So, this is for our listeners. Stay tuned for upcoming podcasts, and you can view and listen all our previous podcasts on Spotify. Thank you.